Hello, welcome to the Sound of Science, the place where we deconstruct unscientific bogus and silly scams. Let's go get them. Hello, you wonderful critical thinkers. Thank you so much for watching. In my last couple of videos, I discussed a complete idiot calling himself Topics of Religion. He absolutely is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Christian apologists, as I have demonstrated in detail in my videos. Now, after wasting time on this fool and his 37 subscribers, I thought it was time again to take on a bigger fish. So I ended up at Off the Curb Ministries, a Christian apologist who has no less than 2.6 million subscribers. Now, one would think that such a large channel would at least come up with better arguments than fools like Topics of Religion. But I must warn you that there is basically no difference. Even this super extra large Christian apologist channel displays the same silly nonsense. So let's watch one of their videos.
If you're an atheist, I'm about to put you in a corner right now.
Oh boy, we've heard that 1,000 times before. It is usually said by people who do not understand what atheism is, because all atheism is not believing the claim that a God exists. Most of us do not believe your God claim, because nobody ever presented evidence that proves the existence of your God. So there is nothing about atheism to put into a corner. The only way you could do that is by providing sufficient evidence that proves that your God exists. But I suspect that that is not what you're going to do.
Because I am going to ask you a very hard question, and you will not be able to answer it.
Looks like this is going to be the usual nonsense. We've seen 1,000 questions that atheists supposedly cannot answer, and all of them turned out to be easy to answer, irrelevant for atheism, or simply nonsense questions. But okay, show me what you got.
I would be a very rich man if I got $1 for every time an atheist said these 3 words to me. Who made God?
No, you wouldn't, because that is certainly not a question that a typical atheist would ask. Because if there were some other entity who willingly made your God, then that would possibly be also some kind of God. And remember what atheism is. We do not believe that a God exists. So we atheists would probably not ask who made God. We're much more likely to ask, how did your God come into existence? That is a totally different question that does not imply the existence of some other God. But you're a Christian apologist, so you phrase a fake atheist question, and then you build your fake argument around that. It is called a straw man argument, and you know that.
But let me flip that question back on you, Mr. Atheist.
Provided the fact that I never asked that question, and that most atheists most likely don't ask that question, so there is nothing to flip back on me, go ahead anyway.
If you don't believe that God created you, the only other logical conclusion you can draw is that the universe created you.
No, that's not the only logical conclusion. You only demonstrate the typical limited mindset of a Christian apologist. There are not just 2 options. There could be many more, like space aliens created us, or the most obvious, we are not created. We just came into existence by natural processes. No sky wizards needed. You Christian apologists automatically assume that anything that exists must have been willingly created by some intelligent being, but you never provide any evidence why that would be the case. Instead, we have mountains of evidence that all demonstrate that things can come into existence by natural processes. So no, your only logical conclusion in reality is not the only conclusion. And come on, you know that. You can't be that stupid.
So if you believe that the universe created you, who created the universe?
Sweet mother of Gandalf, look at the smirk on that guy's face. He actually thinks that he said something clever, while the stupidity is beyond belief. No, atheists do not believe that the universe created them. Atheism has got nothing to do with that. As you know, I suppose, atheism only is not believing the claim that a God exists. It has got nothing to do with the origin of life or the origin of the universe. And if your question boils down to who created the universe, then that is a mashup of the stupidity I mentioned before. First, that question of course has got nothing to do with atheism. No one knows how the universe originated, including Christians. And second, there is no evidence that proves that the universe was created. Maybe it has always been there. Maybe it came into existence by natural processes. Who knows? Nobody knows if and how the universe came into existence. So if your intention was to put people into a corner, then that applies to everyone, including yourself and other Christians. Because you don't know either if and how the universe got into existence. Of course, if you're a Christian, then you will say, oh, God did it. Well, then prove it, starting with demonstrating that your God actually exists in the first place. So then, of course, we're back at square one. Because as long as you don't provide evidence that proves that your God exists and created the universe, then my claim that Frodo did it is just as valid as your Christian claim. Sweet auntie of Bilbo Baggins. I told you, even the big shot Christian apologists with millions of subscribers turn out to be silly fools. It's amazing. Thank you for watching.